Thanks, comrade. I thought Richard was talking about somebody else there. I just was waiting for somebody to come in the door. Comrades and friends, thanks very much for the invite, and it's good to come along and see some money's coming out. Independence is a big issue, not just for socialists but for everybody in Scotland. And it's great to have meetings like this, because at the end of the day it's critical that people in our communities hear the arguments, hear the debates, hear the pros and the cons of both sides, to give people the information before they make their decisions. I'm a socialist. I'm also an internationalist and a Republican. And I believe that the best way forward for the people in this country is to vote yes and create an independent Scotland. I'm proud to be an SSP member. The heart of the manifesto of the Scottish Socialist Party is to redistribute the wealth and power from the rich to the working class. And that's what drew me into the Scottish Socialist Party. And I believe that it's the only party in Scotland that's got a socialist manifesto with that at its heart. And if you could encapsulate what we need today in Scotland, that's it. We need to redistribute the wealth and power from the rich and the powerful and the unelected to the working class, who at the end of the day deliver the profits, and through their labour and their sweat create the profits for the wealthy and the powerful. The Scottish Socialist Party wants independence. What we don't want today is just to swap the Union flag for the Saltire. We want a root and branch change in our country. We want people in Scotland to have the vote and to make sure that when we elect a government in 2016, that reflects the needs of the Scottish population. We want to tax the rich and big business who are milking this country dry on the backs of working people. And it's been mentioned before, the Citizens Advice Bureau down in Western Barton, where I live, tell me the biggest client group now is not people who are on benefits, but it's the working poor, it's the underemployed, it's the people that have been forced into zero-hour contracts or to work 16 hours a week, predominantly women, for low wages. They are now the clients that are turning to the Citizens Advice Bureau and the food banks. It's not people that are on benefits, although they're having to go there as well. People say when you tax the rich, they'll leave the country. Nonsense. I remember this way back the last time we had independence debate. If you tax the rich, they'll take their wealth and leave the country. Maggie Thatcher, when she was in office, taxed the rich in this country 83 pence in the pound. 83 pence in the pound they were taxed that, and they didn't leave. The rich currently get taxed only 45 pence in the pound. 45 pence. And a Labour government have said they would keep that. Now, if we can't put that back up to 83 pence and redistribute some of the resources we've got in our country to help working families and to help people who are struggling, then we shouldn't be in the ball game of trying to change the society. Our party's policy is a minimum of £9 a working wage for everybody. A minimum of £9. We've got the resources in this country to deliver that. Be taxing the rich and big business. Be scrapping Trident and using North Sea oil for investment in new jobs, new houses, the NHS, roads infrastructure that was talked about, nationalising the transport industry and nationalising the 6 big energy companies who are creating fuel poverty and killing people in our country as we speak. Scrap Trident, the new Trident is going to cost £100 billion. And as Lee's already said, it's an absolute obscenity. I was in a food bank in Renton this morning in my ward, and the queue was at the door. And here we are spending £100 billion on weapons of mass destruction. They things that Saddam Hussein supposed to have had in his country. And Blair told us blatant lies, he obviously didn't. We need to nationalise the transport system to make sure that people in our country can go about doing what they need to do and will be restricted on where they travel. One of the other small things our party would do would be we would double the winter fuel allowance that people get at the moment. Not just for senior citizens, but for everybody that's on benefits and we would also extend it to everybody who's unemployed. The British state in this country, the British state are here to represent the rich and the powerful in the South East England, as Joe said. That's what is delivered by the state on behalf of the rich and the powerful. And a yes vote in Scotland will give us as a Scottish people a chance to challenge that. We will have a chance if we get a yes vote to decide in Scotland what's in our best interest. And it will strike a heart at British imperialism in this country as well. If we get independence, it will weaken the British state and weaken the imperialist system that we live under. A yes vote for me is not so much about changing the flags or getting an opportunity for different policies. It's about democracy. It's about self-esteem. It's about people in Scotland having the confidence to say, yes, we can do this. We aren't too weak. We've got the resources. We've got the natural resources. We've got the human resources. We've got the knowledge that we can go ahead and make a better country, a fairer country, a more equal country for all our citizens. And it's not about the SNP, as Joe and Louise have said. But the media, the mainstream media, are deliberately saying the referendum is about the SNP. It's not. It's about every single individual citizen in our country. We need to have a fairer Scotland. We will only get that under the British state. The capitalist system is screwing the working class in this country on behalf of the rich and the powerful. We need to be confident. And as you go up and down the country speaking to people, you can see the confidence beginning to build. As the arguments are laid bare and people see what can be delivered and what can be achieved, people are getting that confidence and saying, enough is enough, we'll take no more of what we're getting from Westminster. Westminster does not represent what we need as a class in Scotland. Another main reason I'll be voting yes is we will never, ever again in this country have a Tory government. A Tory government who are made up of millionaires. Millionaires who don't know what it's like to have to put food on the table for a wage and clothing. They've never known poverty in their life at all. We will never ever be used as an experiment for the likes of the poll tax. The poll tax in our country. We will never ever have a bedroom tax again in our country if we get independence. We will get rid of nuclear weapons, and as Louise said, that's all about the male power, having a seat at the table in the world so that we can have a say on what is going on in the neoliberal position being adopted by America and the other right-wing countries. There will be no more ATOS attacking the sick and the unemployed, forcing to take their benefits from them. 11,000 people have died. 11,000 claimants have died in Britain while they've been waiting for a judgment from ATOS about whether their benefits were to be retained or taken off them. That's an absolute scandal. An absolute scandal. And it shouldn't be allowed to go on. And let's nail this lie that we're too poor to go our own way. We're a net contributor to the United economy at the moment. We put more in than we get out. We're a net contributor, so let's put that lie to bed that we can't sustain ourselves financially. Who's telling us to vote no? Let's look at the people that's telling us to vote no. The Tories, right-wing Labour Party, who are traitors to the working class. The Liberal Democrats, more traitors, sold their souls to get into bed with the Tories to make sure that the working class paid for their mistakes. UKIP are racists in suits. They're racists in suits. The banks are telling us to vote no. Big business is telling us to vote no. The media is telling us to vote no. None of these organisations are friends of the working class. None of them. And I remember my father telling me, if you come up against an enemy and you very generally oppose what they're saying, you're on the right track. And when you look at the people that are telling us to vote no, it's very simple to go the other way and vote yes. We need to be confident. I'll finish here. We need to be confident. Build the confidence. Speak to your neighbours, speak to your friends, speak to your workmates. Try and get them to look at the issues and ask them to ask this simple question. Am I prepared to accept more of the same of what I'm getting for a Tory government run by millionaires in Westminster? Or will I take that leap of faith, raise my confidence and vote for yes, and then have a say in the type and the quality of Scottish government we'll have in 2016? So I would ask people to vote yes, September this year, in two years' time in May 2016, to vote for the Scottish Socialist Party, so we can build a left or centre and hopefully have a chance of shaping the government in Scotland to make sure we end up with a fairer and a more equal society. Thanks very much.